Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Beer Geek Nation's Pumpkin Week Part 2. And today, guys, we're looking at the first of 3 Elysian beers. They bottle 3 pumpkin beers each year, and they're really known for their pumpkin ales. They have actually collaborated with New Belgium on a sour pumpkin ale, so they really know what they're doing with pumpkin beers. This is kind of their session pumpkin beer. This is their Elysian Night Owl Pumpkin Ale, coming in at 5.9% alcohol plus by volume, so it doesn't get into that imperial pumpkin zone. Basically, how do they describe it? The special thing about this is it's an ale brewed with pumpkin and pumpkin seeds, and then they ferment it with the spices, your ginger, nutmeg, clove, the usual suspects. So we'll see what those pumpkin seeds add to this one, and as we go on, we'll see how this one compares to the other 2 Elysian beers, which will be coming up tomorrow and the day after. So with that said, let me get into a glass so that you guys know how it smells, tastes, and give you the final verdict on the Elysian Night Owl Pumpkin Ale. All right, guys, so the appearance on the Elysian Night Owl, it's a beautiful, beautiful light orange. There's a golden color where the curve of the glass hits the light itself. Pretty hazy, and looking at the amount of sediment at the bottom of this bottle, I'm assuming it's probably a bottle-conditioned beer. There was a really, really nice 2 to 3 fingers of a pretty white head, maybe slight off-white, like an eggshell white. Dissipated pretty quickly, though. Decent amount of lacing on there. Not too many alcohol legs on this one, but lots and lots of tiny effervescent carbonation coming off there. Just a nice looking beer. All right, guys, the aroma on the Elysian Night Owl. Yeah, right up front, you get those typical pumpkin pie spices, ginger, cinnamon. The nutmeg really, really jumps out in this one. There's a little bit of like a, I hate to say it, maybe like a little bit of a metallic type of oxidization to it. I hate to say that, but a little bit of a malty sweetness in there, a nice kind of bready sweetness. Maybe a touch of like a dark fruit, but really those big kind of spicy notes really shine. All right, guys, the taste on the Elysian Night Owl. Cheers. Yeah, right at the front of the tongue, there's almost like a slight sourness to it from the spices in this one. It can go either way. You can get sweet spices or kind of a bittering, kind of sour spiciness. I get that from the cinnamon. Definitely get the ginger. That's what's really causing that. A little bit of nutmeg. There's a slight kind of like raisiny sweetness to it. Middle of the mouth, it doesn't have a whole lot of body, but at 5.9%, I wouldn't expect that, but it is pretty watery. There's a nice kind of bready sweetness, a little bit of like a toffee, a little bit of a caramel flavor in there that blends with that, again, a very kind of almost verging on like a sour cinnamon spiciness from that ginger. Definitely there though. Aftertaste, pretty dry. Aftertaste, I'm getting more of kind of a malty, caramely sweetness, very, very slight, more of that cinnamon, clove, and nutmeg kind of coming back in the back end. It's a little bit thin on flavor, not a whole lot of body to it, but definitely you get that kind of classic pumpkin beer spice to it. Just not really, really in your face, but at 5.9%, it is pretty sessionable, so I wouldn't expect anything too big. All right, guys, so the final verdict on the Elysian Night Owl Pumpkin Ale, 5.9% available now. I believe it also comes in 12-ounce bottles as well. And I got to give a huge thanks to Jeremy at beer30.com. You guys can check the link below. He sent them over my way because I'm not able to get them locally. Guys, going to get a B- for me. Not, it's very middle of the pack. For me, there might be some off flavors in this one. The ginger is causing a little bit of like a twanginess or a sourness to it. I'm getting a little bit of oxidization as far as like a penny type of taste to it. A little bit watery, not a whole lot of body to it, but at 5.9%, I wouldn't expect a whole lot. But there's just nothing really kind of putting into that B+ range for me this one. If you guys don't like pumpkin pie beers, you might want to try this one. It's very, very middle of the road, lightly spiced, but there's still a good amount of, that pumpkin pie kind of mouthfeel to it. But with that said, getting a B- for me, and remember folks, life's too short. Drink amazing beers. Cheers.